started on a cold, rainy November day when we got married. And we decided it was raining. We decided that didn't it? Emily would be in charge of the money, and that I would just go to work because Emily's a spender and I'm a saver.
You have that backwards.
You can't ever say this to me.
I say the money, he spends the money. So I do the budget, and so when we first made a budget, maybe like a couple years ago, it wasn't when we were first married. And I put in a category for tithing, and I picked some random number like $75. But that got us in the habit then of tithing, and it wasn't consistent. I think we were still going to our old church then, yeah. And so it's easier. I've realized in a bigger church, it's easier to either say, "Oh, well, I'm going to give my tithe to the missionary this month," or not tithe. But definitely in a smaller church, when I am tithing, we tithe because God told us to, and that's acknowledging where our money came from. But also in a small church, I feel like the church home is just like our home, and we need to pay rent, and we need to pay the utilities and the pastor's salary. And so if we are just not tithing, then those things will not continue. And so as a church body, we need to be aware of where the reason that this building has its lights on, or that the pastor is able to stay here and shepherd his flock. And so that you feel that weight more, which is good, that this is our responsibility and that we're part of this family, and so we pay. We pay for the things that we use. And so that's my thought each time I'm writing the check. And throughout the years of doing it, it hasn't necessarily gotten easier, but we've had a lot of really cool stories of when we've either the money's been really tight and we've still tithed, seeing either through his work, or sometimes other people will give to us, and just really cool, unique stories. And then also when we started, you can tell in the gross.
We decided to tithe on the gross rather than on the net, since we're 1099. And as soon as we did that, I got a raise at work. I got a guaranteed salary with my commissions. And we saw it within that month, I believe, of making that decision and putting that into practice.
Yeah, so we've had just a lot of cool stories of even when you feel like there's not going to be enough. And it is hard at the beginning of the month to tithe, and when you don't know what's coming at the end of the month.
Yeah, our money's just always up and down. It's never the same.
Yeah, so
it really is a waiting game sometimes to see what's going to happen. But we've learned we can trust that, we tell God we're going to do what He tells us to do. We're going to give back like we're supposed to, and He's always blessed us with what we need.
What would you tell someone who's struggling?
I would tell someone that Jesus said to render unto Caesar that which is Caesar, and render unto God that which is God's. This country is letting Caesar, or the U.S. government, take so much of our money, and we are not in open arm revolt, that there is no reason we can't render to God that which is God's. If we're going to sit there and take this one line down the way we have.
Well, and in Malachi, God says that He says to test me. So He says to bring the whole tithe, and that was another verse why we needed to tithe on the gross, because He said the whole tithe. And so when you tithe the whole tithe, He said to test me, and but that, I don't remember, something's going to be overflowing. I don't remember what exactly the verse says, but that He's going to give you back more. And so to test God in that.
We were also given that advice that if we wanted a gross blessing, to give a gross tithe. We've seen that happen.